So Biksa ma'am, we can start the session. Now time is 11:05.
Okay, sir. So has everyone tried the program which was taught in the session yesterday? Okay. Did you get output for every program? What about others? Okay. See, just me taking the class is not enough. Hands-on practice is a must, okay? Only then you'll have practice and it will be easy for you during the actual coding program, okay? If it is an in-person class, for sure, I'll ask everyone to work with the program. But since it is online, I'm just giving you your time to work on it. But is everyone making use of that? I think I got answers from only 2 students. What about others? Even if it is no, no problem. Just tell me the answer. Okay. Okay. So good. I think some of you have tried. Good. I want everybody of you to try from today. Okay. Only then you'll understand the programs. Once if you understand the logic, it is very easy to go to the programs. And once if you are thorough with these basic programs, only based on this, your questions will be there. Okay. A little bit twisted, but the logic will be the same. Okay. So anyone took mock test? Any student attended mock test? At least have anyone visited the sites which I gave you in the first session? The 12 to 13 sites which I gave you. Has anyone visited the site? Or just making notes of every site and just keeping it closed? See, taking notes and having everything in the notebook will not work until you work hands on. Not even one. Not even one has tried to take any mock test. At least from now, take these things seriously because this training is actually for you to get placed. Okay, it is your future and you have to take responsibility of your future. From tomorrow, I want everybody of you to take at least one mock test. Okay, and try every programs which is given in the class. Is it clear? It will take maximum 1 hour to try all the programs and a half an hour for mock test. So just go for it. 1.5 hours. I think you can. Okay. So we'll move on to the today's session. And those who didn't try out yesterday's problem, just combine both and try it today. Okay. We'll move on to today's class. Can someone tell me where did we stop yesterday? Which was the last program we saw yesterday? I hope everyone have your notes right. Just go through it and tell me. Okay, good. It is Fibonacci and last year questions. Yeah, good. It was Fibonacci, which was asked in the previous year question paper. And today also we'll be seeing few questions. Okay, the basic questions and the logic behind those things. And is my screen visible to everyone? Can you see my screen? Okay. So yesterday we saw Fibonacci. Even today we are going to see that as the first program. The difference between Fibonacci series program and this program. I hope everyone has the program in your notebook. I asked you to copy down everything in your notes so that you can tell me what is the difference between yesterday's Fibonacci series program and this Fibonacci series. Can someone tell me? Yesterday's was using recursion. Good. Good. I think only one has observed the session properly. Okay, yesterday we used a function. I was repeatedly saying that it is called a recursive function. We are using the recursion in this program, right? Here, today in Fibonacci series, we are not going to use the recursion. Good. It is without recursion function. Without using the function, a simple program. Okay, without using the concept of function, we are just using the basic to generate the Fibonacci series. Okay, good. Now, we'll just see this program too. You can pick any other way, okay, whichever you're comfortable with, either with the recursion or with the normal program, whichever you want you can pick. Okay, so as usual, the header files, the main function. Now I'm declaring in. T1 stands for term 1 and T2 stands for term 2, and I'm initializing both of them to 0 and 1. Okay, because the first two numbers in the Fibonacci series is 0 and then 1. Okay, so I don't need to generate this one. This is already a predefined. So I'm just declaring the term 1 as 0 and term 2 as 1. And I'm also declaring a variable called next term. I've just declared whatever variables I need previously. Now I'm going to get the input from the user for which term. Okay, if it is for the 8th term or the 9th term, we should know, right? What is the 8th term in the Fibonacci series? 9th term. So that number we are going to get from the user, and I'm going to store it in the variable n. Okay, now I'm just, for it's like a topic. Okay, for giving a topic, I've just printed Fibonacci series. Now after that, what should I do? I'm just giving a loop because I wanted to run the entire Fibonacci series and check the 8th term. Directly, I cannot go to the 8th term. Okay, I have to go from first position, second, third, fourth, and then at finally only I'll be getting the 8th value. So till that, I have to run a loop. So I'm taking a for loop. Okay, I'm initiating I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to user given number. Till the number which user has given, if it is the 8th term, till that, if the loop runs, that is enough. Okay, so and every time I must get incremented, right? So I'm just giving plus plus I. Now, first I have initialized t1 is equal to 0. So I just wanted to print that. Okay. I don't want to do any progress with that. I just wanted to print it t1. So I'm just printing t1, which is 0. So first 0 gets printed. Okay. Next, I'm using a variable next term. What am I doing is t1 plus t2. Okay, T2 I've already given 1, T1 plus T2, because in Fibonacci series, it is the sum of previous two numbers. Okay, so 0 and 1, which is 1. The other one is stored in the next term variable. Now, as usual, the swap. Yesterday we saw, right? The swap, using swap, T2. I mean, 1 is stored in T2, that I'm going to place it in T1. So now T1 value becomes 1. Instead of 0, the T1 value becomes 1. And now T2 is empty. It is just free. Now what am I going to store it in T2 is next term. Next term is 0 plus 1 is 1. That one I'm going to store it in T2. Okay. Similarly, the swapping process takes place until the condition is failed. In that sense, until n is equal to 8, the same process takes place and the entire Fibonacci series gets printed. Okay. So this is how you write a function without, you write a program without a function. Okay. Without a recursive function. Make a note of it. Once copied, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay, others. Okay. We'll move on to the Python program. Similarly, I'm going to get the input from the user and store it in a variable called n terms. Okay. Now, as usual, I'm going to initialize n1, number 1 and number 2 to 0 and 1. I am initializing count is equal to 0 because there we used I plus plus, right? We used a variable called I. Here we are using a variable called count. That's the difference, nothing else. Okay. And if n terms is less than or equal to 0, in that sense, the input received from the user is less than or equal to 0, then it is a negative number, right? We cannot write a Fibonacci series for the negative number. So we are just going to give a message that please enter a positive integer. Okay, one condition. If it is greater than 0, then it is a positive. At that time, what should we do? And one more thing is, if second condition, if n terms equal to 1, okay, you have to print n1, which is 0. We have to print that value. Okay. Now I'm just taking another variable nth. Okay, nth. It is a nth variable. I'm just going to add n1 and n2. The final condition n1 plus n2. I'm going to add and store that in nth variable. And after that, the similar process which we done in C program. Okay. As I said yesterday, both the processing of C and Python are the same, except the syntax change. Okay. After that, I'm just incrementing the count. So when count is equal to 0, it will first go for the first position. Next, now count has been incremented. It will go for the next position. Count has been again incremented, next position. It keeps on going like a loop. Okay. Same processing except the syntax change. Make a note of it. Okay. Okay. We'll move on to the next. Now, this is a palindrome program. Okay. So, to check whether the given number is a palindrome or not, there are two types of palindrome. One is string palindrome and the other one is number palindrome. Now, we are going to see the number palindrome. As usual, the header files, the main function. Here, I have declared those variables n, reversed n. Okay. The integer we are going to get from the user. I'm sorry, the string which we are going to get from the user, and then the reverse of that. Okay. Next, the remainder and the original n are the other variables needed for this program. Now, enter an integer. I'm going to get an integer and save that in n variable. Okay. And I'm copying whatever the input which I got from the user. I'm just copying it to original n. Okay. Later you'll come to understand why am I copying this. I'm just going to copy the n value to the original n value. Okay. Now, while n not equal to 0. Okay. Now, for example, look at this. The n value which I'm giving is 545. Okay. So now 545 is not equal to 0. Yes, the condition is true. Okay. It will come inside the while loop. Now I'm just taking the variable reminder is equal to n modulo 10. Okay. So how will it calculate? N modulo 10 is this basic division, and modulo operation gives the reminder value, which is 5. Okay. So this 5 gets stored in the reminder. Now the reminder value is 5. Okay. See, I have put reminder is equal to 5. Now, going to the next, reversed n is equal to reversed n start 10 plus reminder. Already I have initialized reversed n to 0. So, 0 into 10 plus reminder value here is 5. Okay. So, 0 into 10 is 0 plus 5 is 5. The final reversed n value will be 5. Okay. Next, what is the line I've used? N slash is equal to 10. It is a shorthand operator. Actual operator is n is equal to n slash 10. Okay. We know the n value is 545 slash 10 gives the quotient value which is 54. Okay. So this is the n. Now we are going to again go back to the loop. Right. Now the n value is 54. From 545, we have just separated this 5 and stored in reverse. And the remaining 54 we have stored in n for the next input. Okay. Now n is 54. Similarly, it will come for the first line of code. Reminder is equal to 54 modulo 10. The reminder is 4. Reminder gets saved in. Okay. Now reverse is equal to, already in reversed n we have 5. Okay. So now 5 into 10 plus the reminder. Here the reminder is 4. So 54. So the reverse value now is 54, and the n value, the input for the next loop, okay, the quotient, it is 5. So now from 545, we have taken this last 45 and only 5 we are having in the original n. Okay. Now see here, now n is equal to 5. The next input for the next loop, reminder is equal to 5 modulo 10 is as usual the 5. Now the reverse, already we have 54 into 10 is the formula, and then plus 5 we are going to add because that is the reminder. Now 54 into 10 is 540 plus 5 is 545. So reverse is equal to 545 and actual original number is also 545. Okay. Now see, if original n, now did you understand why did we take that n and have a copy? Because finally when we are completing, our n was equal to 5. Okay, because we have processed the n and the final value for n is 5, because we had 5, but we want the original 545 also. So we have just copied that to the original n and we are using it now. We are checking whether original n is equal to the reversed n. Now reversed n also has 545. Okay. If it is equal, then it is a palindrome, else it is not a palindrome. Okay. The entire operation goes here. the basic three formulas, and I have showed you how the formulas work. Okay, just make a note of this. If you want, you can take the workings also. Others, make it fast. Okay. Palindrome in a Python language. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to get the input and store it in the num variable. Now, what am I doing is I'm just creating a temporary variable and storing the num value in this temporary variable, because we just wanted a copy, right? There we used original n, and here we are using the temp variable. Now we are initializing reverse is equal to 0. So while num greater than 0, the same condition, same processing also. Okay, here I've used digit is equal to num modulo 10. The same reverse is equal to reverse star 10 plus digit, second formula. And then the third one, the input for the next loop, num is equal to num slash 10. Okay, and in Python you will be using this double slash for division. Okay, this called as modulo, and this is called as division. Okay, if, and I have saved everything, and then I'm just checking if temporary is equal to reverse, then the number is a palindrome, else it is not a palindrome. Simple. Okay, such a big program in C is just a small, around 10 lines in Python. Make a note of it. Just I have changed the syntax for input output and looping statements. Okay, shall we move on to the next? So now we saw the number palindrome. and this is a string palindrome. Okay, and you have a function, right? Predefined function in C to reverse a string. Can someone say what is it? Predefined function to reverse a string. In C language. Okay, yeah. It is a string reverse. Okay. You have a function in C language called a string reverse, which will reverse the given string. Okay. No need to write this entire processing part at all. If you just give string reverse and within the brackets, whichever string you want to reverse, if you give, it will give the output. So it is a simple, but in certain questions, they'll just mention reverse a string without using the predefined functions. Okay, if they're not mentioning, you can use the string reverse function. If not, they're just given, you should not use the predefined function, then you have to go for this program. Okay, this is without using the string reverse function. Okay, let us see. As usual, the header file stdio.h. Here I'm going to use a string length predefined function which is already defined in string.h. Okay, I am not going to write any coding for this string length which will give the length of the string. Okay, I am not going to write any coding. It is already written and predefined in the string.h. So when I'm including in this program the string.h, it will just, when it reads the string length, it'll, the control jumps to the string.h, and here it will be written what should that do, and it will process. Okay, so I'm using string.h, and even if you're using string reverse, you have to use this header file string.h. Now coming to the main function, I'm just declaring. See, this is the declaration part. Whatever variables I need, I have just declared. Okay, I'm declaring a string 1, a variable called string 1, which is of size 20 and data type character. Okay, this is how you declare a array of strings. Okay, now I'm just declaring another two variables, I and length of integer data type, and flag also as an integer data type, but flag alone I am initializing it to 0. Okay, now the declaration part is over. Now getting the input from the user part. Okay, I'm just asking for the input and storing that in string 1, and I'm finding out the length of the string. Okay, now I'm just giving mam. Okay, a m, and I'm going to store that in string 1. So I'm asking the length of the string 1. So strlen of mam, it will be 3. So 3 will be stored in the length. Okay, now the length value will be 3. Now coming for the processing part, I'm taking I is equal to 0, initializing I as 0, I less than length. Okay, so 0 less than or equal to 3 until the last character of the string gets executed. We have to execute the loop. Now what am I going to check is string 1 of I. Here I value gets changed for every loop. Okay, when I is equal to 0, here string 1 of 0 will be present. Then for the next loop, string 1 of 1, string 1 of 2, it gets changed. Okay, now what am I doing is string 1 of 0 not equal to string 1 of, what is it given here is length is 3, Sorry guys, actually there was a power shutdown on my Wi-Fi just off, so I just wanted to connect it again. Sorry for the delay. Sir, can you please make me the host again? I cannot share my screen.
Let me.
Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
No problem, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it again, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Yeah, now I can share. Is my screen visible for everyone?
Perfect.
Oh. So I think we'll start it again from the loop. So now, as I said, we are going to just use a for loop, initializing it to 0 until the length of the entire string is over. Okay. So now I'm taking I. So here I value is 0. So string 1 of 0 is not equal to string 1 of length is 3 minus I value is 0 minus 1. Okay. So which is 2. So I think I asked you a question, right? Can someone tell me the answer? From where does the array index starts? Good. Array index starts from 0. And what will be the end of an array? Every array. End of every array will be? Okay, n minus 1. Or you can say even null. Okay. Always an array index starts from 0 and ends at null. So 0, 1 and 2. Now 3 will be null. Okay, so that is what I said. Always the last index will always be null. Okay, now here I have just given 2. I'm checking whether it is not equal to 0 and 2. 0 and 2. Okay, m and m. They're saying if it is not equal to, actually this is equal, right? So we don't want to get into this loop itself because this condition itself is false, because they are giving a condition that if both of them are not equal, only then we have to come here. Okay, now again I have to go for the next loop until the 3 gets executed fully. I mean the condition gets failed, we have to execute the loop, and not even once we'll get inside the loop because always the condition is false here. Now if flag, okay, flag is already 0, and if it is, then it is not a palindrome, else it is a palindrome. Okay, if we just take the flag value as 1, already flag value is 0, if we are getting inside the loop itself, the value will be 1. If the flag is 1, it is not a palindrome. If it is not 1, flag value same as that of the given 0, then it is a palindrome. Okay, the entire processing lies here. Okay, make a note of it. Variable declaration part, getting the input from the user part, finding the length, processing part. This is the processing part, and here you're going to print the output. Okay, as I said yesterday, getting the input from the user, processing, and finally printing the output are the 3 major parts in any program. Okay, go for it. And if you want to use the string reverse function instead of this entire processing part, you can use string reverse. Simple, predefined function. Okay, just make a note of this program and give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. Others, make it fast. So now, in the Python programming language, I'm just using a function here, okay? This is the way you declare a function using the def keyword, okay? Def is a keyword, this palindrome is the function name, and s is the parameter. Now I have just given a function here. We'll come back to this function later. Now the main code, as I said, it is a driver code. I'm going to get the input from the user and store it in S. Previously, we have given the input as int input, right? Because that is the data type integer. Here we are going to get a string, which is of data type char. So no need to mention integer or character here. By default, Python will get only characters. Okay, only to get the integer input, you'll get int. Otherwise, no need to mention any data type. It will directly go to the string. Now, ANS is equal to is palindrome S. Okay, I'm just checking the output received from this function is equal to ANS. If the answer is S, okay, then print S, else no. Simple. Now, coming to the function, I have said go to this function. The entire control will jump over here. What happens in this function? Okay. So, I'm just asking the function to return something. What should it return? See, here we have used the colon and the negative indices. So, the name of that is slicing. Okay. So, this is called as slicing. What is slicing in the sense? You have a string. Okay. String is a collection of characters. You have a string. So, you wanted to slice it, partition it, okay, of individual characters. For that, we are using the slicing. Okay. The syntax for slicing is, see, S of I and J. I colon J. Okay. This I is the starting index. Make a note of it. Make a note of syntax. This concept is called slicing. Even though you're going with C language, just make a note of these concepts, okay? Because if you get selected and then if you're going for the technical HR round, they're just asking you wanted to answer at least a basic, okay? So make a note of it. It will be useful for you. So I is the starting index and J is up to which it should run, but it will not take the jth element. Previous to the jth element, it will be taking, okay? So I is the starting index and it will run up to j element. Okay. So now I'll just tell you an example. I'm taking hello, string hello, and storing it in S. Okay. Now, as I said, the array index starts from 0 and I've just indexed H as 0, E as 1. Okay. It goes on like that. Now, how am I slicing is, I have to slice this S from 1 to 4. Okay. So, 1 is E. I should not take the H since that is 1. The index value only we are giving here. So, straight to 1 we have E. So, E, L, L we'll take. Fourth one we will not take because as I said, we'll take up to J element. We'll not take J element. Previous to the J element, we'll take. So, E, L, L. Only up to this you'll be taking. Okay, if I'm just slicing 1 colon 4, I'll get E, L, L. Okay. Next, I'm just taking 0 to 2. 0, 1. Only that I'll be having H and E because 2 is L. I should not include that. Okay. Previous of 2, I should stop. Okay. Now, one more thing. Either you can give the initial and the final index value. Else, you can just give any one. The syntax is you should have a colon at the middle. But if you just leave the first space empty, okay, if you're leaving it, the compiler on its own will take that it begins from the starting. Okay, it begins from the 0. So if you're not giving anything here, it'll just consider it as 0, starting of the index. Okay, 0 to 2. In that sense, 0 and 1 only it will take. Now, if you want to leave the last part, I don't want to give the ending index. So if I'm just giving 2 to just empty, what will it take is, it will take the last, till last it will go. Okay, so from 2, L, L, O. But if you are giving till the last one, till 4, see 1 is to 4, if you are giving, it will not take the last element. It will stop just before to that. But if you're just leaving it as empty, it will take the last element. Till the last, it will go. Okay. So if you're giving the last index, it will just stop before to that. Previous to that itself, it will stop. If you're just giving it as empty, then it will go till the last element. Okay, slicing concept. These we saw with the positive integers. Now, if you're just going for the negative index is also possible in slicing. Okay, so now the same word hello, I have just given as in the reverse order from right side to left side. The array index always starts from left to right in the normal indexing value. You just start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but in negative index you have to start from right to left. Okay, see, it will start from right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll have a minus before that. In that sense, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. Okay, these are the index value. Now I'm just giving s of -2 colon empty. See, I've just given an empty here. So now this begins from the -2. -2 is O here. Okay, it begins from -2 and ends till the entire end because I haven't give the final index value. Okay, so what it will do, L and O, it takes the both characters. Now I haven't given the starting value, but I've given the ending value as -3. So -3 is L. Okay, but I haven't given the starting value, so it takes from the first HE, and always the last value will not be taken. Previous to that itself it will stop. So with E itself it gets stopped. Okay, so this is the slicing concept. If it is a positive index, then it will go from left to right. Make a note of this slicing concept. If it is a positive index, indexing goes from left to right. If it is a negative index, indexing goes from right to left. Okay, so similarly here, this is the slicing concept to reverse a string. Okay, whatever string is there, if you just wanted to reverse it, then you can just give 2 colons. Here entirely we have used only single colon, but why are we using 2 colons here? See, the initial one colon, the final one. Okay, and why am I using another colon is I wanted to just tell how many times should it skip. Okay, if I'm just having a values from 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, I'm just having the values. I wanted to skip, the initial value is 1, final value is 4. I wanted to skip 2, 2. Okay, 1 to, I wanted to miss this 2. I wanted to go from 1 to 3 straight away. Next, if I'm just taking 2, it should go to 4 straight away. So how many times I should skip, that is mentioned in the third space. Okay, first space for initial, second space for final, and the third space is how many times should I skip. So for that I've given -1. -1 is used for reversing. Okay, so simply if I give the initial is also, I have just given empty, and the final I have given empty. Okay, so from the first string till the last character it will take, and it will reverse. Since I've given -1, this will reverse. Okay, for the palindrome you're using slicing concept in Python. Is this clear, or anyone wants me to explain it again? I'm ready to explain. If you want, just tell me. I can explain. Clear. Okay, what about others? Okay, then make a note of it. Have you taken down whatever I said orally? Okay. Okay, take down the program also along with the slicing concept example. Once completed, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. See, instead of going concept wise, why I chose to go with the program means for every time for this program you have learned this slicing concept, and you will come to know that this is used to reverse a entire list. Okay, so in some other program, if you're just thinking for the concept, if you're thinking the logic, then if there is some need to reverse it, immediately you should come back to this point. Okay, I have reversed that. Now I can use the same step here. Okay, so if you just understand the logic and the concept, you can use it everywhere. Okay, make use of these small steps in further or future problems also. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Now, reversing of a number. Okay, there we just saw a palindrome. I think more or less it is same, right? Because palindrome is you'll just reverse and check and tell whether it is a palindrome or not. But reversing, you'll just reverse and have it there. Okay, you're just going to print the reverse and show. But in palindrome, you'll get the reverse, you'll check it with the original number and say it is a palindrome or not. So both are more or less same. See, everything is same. The header function, the main function. Now r and n are the two variables I'm declaring. I'm going to get the value which needs to be reversed. Okay, when n not equal to 0, the same processing. Okay, and I'm not going to check whether it is equal to the original number. I'm just going to print it. Very simple. I'm not going to check, just print the reverse of a number. Make a note. So now, if you know the reverse of a number, easily you can type a palindrome program, right? Simply you will know the reverse, how to reverse the number, and then you'll check the palindrome. Similarly, every programs are interconnected. Once you understand the logic, you'll come to know that. Okay. Shall we move on to the next? Okay. Same the reversal program in Python. I'm going to get the input and store it in the variable called number. I'm just initializing reverse to 0. Similarly, checking the condition whether it is greater than 0, following the same procedures and printing the value. Make a note of this program also. Since it is a part of palindrome program, I'm not explaining. Okay. Same palindrome program, just I've taken the processing part and kept it as a separate program. Make a note. Shall we move on to the next? Make it fast if copying. Okay, done. Good. Now, can someone tell me what is an Armstrong number? Armstrong number. What is it? I think you'd have heard, right? What is Armstrong? CS students can tell me. Okay, equal to sum of the cube of the digits. Okay, good. So, what is Armstrong number is that? For example, I'm taking 153. Okay. Now, how many digits does it has? One digit, two digit, and third digit. So totally three digits. Now, what am I going to do is 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. Okay. Just taking the cube of every individual digit and adding it, it should give me the same answer as 153. Okay, only then it is an Armstrong number. Okay, why am I taking cube 3? Why am I taking is the number of digits present here. Okay, if I'm taking 1024, then I have to go with power 4 because the total number of digits here is 4. So I have to go with 1 power 4, 0 power 4, 2 power 4, and then 4 power 4. Okay. So I have to go like that. So this is the logic. Now, how are we going to find out whether it is a Armstrong number or not? We'll go through the program. As usual, the header files, the main function. Coming inside the main function, as usual, the declaration part. Okay. Num, original num. You're going to store to check at the last. Okay. Reminder and result. I'm initializing it to 0. Now, this program is particularly for a 3-digit number. So it cannot be used for 4-digit numbers. So I'm particularly mentioning that please enter a 3-digit integer so that user can enter only 3-digit integers. If you want, you can just generalize the program. I'll tell you how to do it. Now I'm just asking for a 3-digit integer and storing it in num. As usual, copying the num and storing it in original num. When original num is not equal to 0, in that sense it is greater than 0, reminder is equal to original num modulo 10. As usual, the same last time, what did I tell you? The palindrome, right? The same thing. I'm going to divide 153 by 10. Okay, can someone tell me why am I dividing? Always, why am I taking the modulo operator? Any idea? Whenever a number of digits is given, why should we always use a modulo operator? Any idea? We used in palindrome, we used in reverse. Yeah, good. Gives the last digit. Okay, 153 is the entire number, 3-digit integer, but I wanted to split it individually. 3 separately, 5 separately, and 1 separately. I wanted to separate it. So I'm dividing it with 10. So when I first divide, I'll be getting 3 out of it. For the next input, I'll be having only 15. At that time, if I'm dividing with 10, I'll get 5 out separately. Next, I'll be having 1 individually. So I can get every elements individually. For that only, I'm using this modulo operator. Okay. Now, already we know result is 0. I'm just multiplying the remainder 3 times. I'll be getting the last digit. If I'm going to modulo 10, in that sense, I'll be getting 3. Okay. So 3 into 3 into 3. 3 cube I'll be getting, and I'll be storing it in the result. Next, again, as I said, I wanted the input for the next time, right? For that, I'll be taking this 15 because I have separated 3. Now, reminder, I have 15. That I'm going to again give it as a input. Again, it will come inside the loop. The same operations will be performed. Okay. See, I have given result plus. So, Result equal to result plus this entire operation. Okay, so whenever time it gets added up, next time when it comes, it gets added up with the previous result. Now result equal to num, the first input which we got from the user. If it is true, then it is Armstrong number, else it is not an Armstrong number. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Make a note of this program. Okay, one has completed. Okay, okay, we'll move on to the Python program. Getting the variable, storing it in the num, initializing sum. Okay, now I'm just copying the num value to the temporary variable. When temporary variable is greater than 0, the same operation. Okay, instead of multiplying digit into digit into digit, I'm just multiplying into 3. Okay, in that sense, digit per 3. Okay, and the same I'm going to divide and get the input for the next loop. 153 in that sense, 15 for the next loop. Similarly, I'm going to check, I'm going to display the result, whether it is Armstrong number or not. Same procedure except the syntax change. Make a note of this program too. Completed. Okay. Okay, I want everybody of you to answer for one question without Googling. Okay, just it is like a small question. Okay, from C language. So everyone knows Hello World program, right? I believe everyone knows Hello World, basic of all programs. So as I said, in C language, every statement ends with the semicolon, right? Even if I wanted to give printf statement, it should end with the semicolon, else that printf statement will not be executed, right? But now I wanted you to print the hello world, small program to print the hello world without this semicolon. I don't want this semicolon, but I wanted you to print the hello world. Can someone tell me how? Please don't Google, just think. Good. Any other answers? Same. Okay. Okay. Even in loops, you can use, because for conditions and looping statements, you'll not get a semicolon, right? Just simply, for example, as you said, I'm just using if. Within this if, others, just listen. Within this if I'm going to give printf, and then within the brackets, I'm giving hello world. Now I no need to give a semicolon because it is a if condition. Okay, it'll just get inside the condition. It'll do whatever is given inside the condition. It'll print the hello world, and then it'll come inside the condition. Nothing will be there, empty condition. So hello world will be printed without the semicolon. Okay. Yeah, even using for loop you can do this. Okay, just small questions. They won't ask you this in this online test. Once you go for the technical HR, if they wanted to check your basics, they can ask questions like this. Okay, and technical HR completely, it will be based on the all the syntax concepts. How well do you understand the concept? Only that they'll be checking. Okay, coding and programming is needed to clear the online test, but for the technical HR, they'll be checking your knowledge, in-depth knowledge. In-depth knowledge in the sense, the basics, how you understand the basic. The inheritance concept, polymorphism concept, oops concept, completely they'll check. And simple questions like this, they'll be asking. Okay, whether to know whether you are thorough with the basics, they'll be asking. And is everyone having a resume? Are everyone ready with your resumes? I hope everyone has, right? Good. Okay, whatever is there in your resume, only regarding that they'll be asking you questions. If you have just given C language, they'll not ask you from Python. Okay, whatever you have given as your strength, your area of interest, from that only they'll be asking. So make sure you read everything from your resume. Okay, so there's something I thought of sharing. And if you want, we can again interviews. Okay, want a session like that? Apart from technical, completely regarding the HR round, technical HR and general HR. Okay. Okay, we'll plan accordingly one session for completely for discussing about the HR round. Okay. Now, moving on to the next, the leap year problem. Okay. I think everybody of you knows the leap year, but just to explain you the concept, I've given this mind chart. Okay. So first, let us see. As I say leap year, the first thing comes to your mind is it is divisible by 4. Because why? Why should you check for the divisibility of 4? Can someone tell me? Any idea? Why do you use divisible by 4? Okay. It happens once in every 4 years. So you're going to check for the divisibility of 4. Now, similarly, for every 100 years, you'll be having a leap year, right? And after that, for every 400 year, you'll be having a leap year. So wait, let me explain concept wise and then you'll come to understand. First, if I'm just given a number, a year, to check whether it is divisible, it is a leap year or not, first I'll check for the divisibility of 4. Okay. If no, straight away it is not a leap year. Not even divisible by 4, it is not a leap year. I'll just go for this. But if yes, I have to check whether it is divisible by 100. Okay. If no, then only it is a leap year. I'll explain you why. Because once in every 4 years, you get a leap year. Similarly, once in 100 years, the 100th year will not be a leap year. Okay, the 100th year will not be a leap year. That is why if it is not divisible by 100, only then it is a leap year. But not every 100th year is not a leap year. If it is divisible by 400, those hundreds, 100, 200, 300, 400 you'll be getting right. In that, whichever is divisible by 400, then it is a leap year. Else it is not. So in general, first if it is divisible by 4, you have to check whether it is divisible by 100. If yes, you have to again go for divisibility of 400. Okay. Now, if the divisible by 4 itself is not satisfied, then it is not a leap year. If divisible by 100 is not satisfied, it is divisible by 4, but it is not divisible by 100, then it is a leap year. If it is divisible by 100, I have to further go for the 400th divisibility. If it is divisible by 400, it is a leap year, else it is not. Okay. See, 1997 is not a leap year. It is not divisible by 4. So this is not a leap year. But 2012, it is a leap year because it is divisible by 4 and it is not divisible by 100. Okay. It can be divisible by 4, but it is not divisible by 100. Now, 1900, it is divisible by 4, it is divisible by 100, but it is not divisible by 400. The third condition. Hence, it is not a leap year. But 2000, divisible by 4 also, 100 also, 400 also. Hence, it is a leap year. Okay. Simple. I'll explain it once again. If it is divisible by 4, you have to check for 100. If it is divisible by 100, you have to check for 400. Okay. If S, then it is a leap year. If you are checking for the divisibility of 4 and no, then it is a not a leap year. If you are checking for the divisibility by 100, if no, then it is a leap year. If it is divisible by 4 and not by 100, then it is a leap year. Okay. If it is not divisible by 400, it is not a leap year. So the three basic conditions, make a note of it. If you want, you can make the similar flowchart diagram. Once completed, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Some may stop it with divisibility of 4. By checking the divisibility of 4 itself, they'll say whether it is a leap year or not. But a program to satisfy every test case, it should undergo all these three conditions also. In the online test, they may ask for the leap year program also. You may just think such a simple program and you'll just put for divisibility or by 4 alone. But when we are going through the test cases, it will not pass all the test case. Okay, only 4 or 5 gets passed. For that, you have to give all the three conditions. Okay. And always remember, whatever program you're going to do, it should be universal Okay, in that sense, it should satisfy all the conditions. Even if you're going to take a simple even or odd program, you should give the condition if it is given in the negative, if it is given in the zero, if it is given positive. What are the all possible conditions? You have to meet all those conditions. Okay. Practice it from now onwards. Only then it will come in the final coding. When you do, you'll get practice to it. You have to meet all the possible conditions, else few of the test cases will not be cleared at all. So make sure your program is universal. It should satisfy all the conditions. Now, moving on to the program, as I said, header files, the main function, declaring a variable called year of integer data type. I'm just going to get the input for year and store that in year. Now see, I have checked if year modulo 4, okay, if the remainder is 0, if it is completely divisible, then I have to go check for the 100. I have to do modulo 100. If that is also 0, okay, I have to go for the 400. If that modulo 400 is also 0, only then it is a leap year. Okay, if it is divisible by 4 and not by 100, then it is not a leap year. Okay, now after that, see, if it is divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100, this condition, okay, this condition, the second condition, then it should be a leap year. Okay, now finally for this if I'm going to put an else, which is not a leap year. In that sense, this condition, okay, if it is not at all divisible by 4, then I have to come for this else only. Okay, just the three conditions, three if conditions along with the three else conditions. As simple as that. Make a, if you understand these concepts, these conditions, the program is very simple. Make a note of it. Concepts and logics are important. Okay. Once completed, give me a thumbs up. Others, make it fast. Okay. Leap year program in the Python language. Same. Okay. Getting the input and storing it in the year variable. Similarly, I'm checking whether the year is divisible by 0 and year is not divisible by 0. See, this second condition. It should be divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100. Okay, then it is a leap year. That I have given first condition here. It should be divisible by 4 and modulo of 100 should not be equal to 0. Then it is a leap year. Okay, if it is divisible by 100 completely, then it is not a leap year. Okay, now here it is modulo 4 and modulo 400 is also 0, then it is a leap year. Okay, if this condition itself is not satisfied, modulo 4 itself is not equal to 0, then it is not a leap year. Okay, I've given 4 conditions here, but only 3 in this Python, 4 in C and 3 in Python, because I have merged 2 conditions, modulo 4 and modulo 100 not equal to 0. I have merged using a AND operator. Okay, And in Python, you can use and as A and D itself. But in C, you have to use this ampersand symbol. Okay. If you want, there also you can just give the ampersand, both conditions in a single line, and use the and symbol. When you are trying, just try and tell me whether you get the output. Make a note of this also. The logic behind every program is very, very important. That is why in the online test, you are first given the aptitude round, okay, the logical and the reasoning part, because that is more important. Coding, anyone who knows the syntax can do the coding, but the ability to think logically, that is very important. That is why you are given the aptitude part first and the technical part next. So develop your logical thinking. Once completed, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Others, make it fast. Now, the simple program. I hope everybody of you knows this, checking a vowel or not using a switch case. I'll just refresh the header files, the main function, declaring a variable called ch of character data type, getting the character and storing it in the ch. Now I'm going to switch, check, okay, the ch. So I've used the switch keyword. Now what am I going to check? This is the syntax to give a case. Okay, case. Within the single quotation, you have to give what condition is that with a colon. Okay, so both lowercase and the uppercase I wanted to check, so I've given a e I o u in both cases. Okay, I've given within the switch. So if the case falls under any one of this, if the character given here, if I'm just giving the smaller a, and if it falls under this category, yes, it will print it is a vowel. Okay, and after that it will break. That's all. This part will not be printed. If it does not falls under any category, if I'm giving H, okay, it doesn't fall under any of these categories. So at that time, it will just print the default value. For every switch case, default statement is important. You have to tell the compiler that if none of these cases are matched, then what should that compiler do? It should go for the default. So default is a must in switch case statement. Okay, make a note of it. See, these, you may see these programs as a small program or the basic program, but this will help you in the coding. I'm not saying that this will be the entire program to check the vowel or not. You'll not get this program and get placed in Wipro. Okay, this will be a part of that bigger program. So for that, we are going through this basic programs. Make a note of it. Once completed, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Others, make it fast. Okay. Okay, we'll move on to the next. The same in Python language. Similarly, I'm getting a character. Since this is a character data type, I haven't used the int. Okay, I'm getting the character and storing it in ch variable. Now, I'm not using a switch here. I'm just using a if statement, and I've used the or. Okay, as I said, and you'll be using a and d. Similarly, or you can use this, but in C language, you will be using this operator. Okay, but here you can use or. Why am I using or? Because in and every condition must be satisfied. Only then this entire condition is true. Here in or, if any one condition is satisfied, even if the get what is got is at least in one. Okay, C is not there, we'll just take O. Okay, O, it will satisfy only this condition. Even this one condition is satisfied, this condition is true. It will come and it will print it as a verbal. For that reason only I have taken or condition and not and, because and it will check for the every condition to be satisfied. So that is the difference between and or. Okay, if the condition is satisfied, it is a vowel, else it is a consonant. Make a note of it, and also make a note of the difference between and or. In and, every condition should be satisfied. In or, any one condition satisfied is enough. If completed, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Others, make it fast. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Like yesterday, I'll be showing you the previous year questions. Okay, and you are going to find what type of program is that. Okay, is the picture visible? Is it clear for you to read? Just go ahead. I'll give you 5 minutes time. Just read the program and tell me what sort of program is this. Okay. 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 Yes. To find the even and odd number and list them. And one more condition they have given. Have you noticed? Can someone say what is that condition? It is sorting odd number first and then the even number, but one condition. Odd number should be after even. Okay, one more condition. One more important condition. Print space separated integers. Okay. Something else? Go through the question once again. The input, output, everything. Sequence should be same. Good. This is the important condition. Okay. We cannot just keep it in ascending order or descending order or something in that sort. Okay. You have to put the sequence in the same order which the user has given. User can give it in any format. Okay. Just combined or confused, they can give in any format, but you have to put in the same format which they have given. Okay. That is very, very important. So as I said, odd and even numbers are the simplest one. Okay. It is the simplest one. And sorting in ascending or descending order is also a simple program. But combined both, they have given you a program here. Okay. So this is why you need the basic strong. So now, can anyone tell me what concept or what logic can we use? Think, think logically and tell me what concept can be used here. Find the even numbers and put them in a separate array. Okay. Even numbers in the separate array, then in odd numbers will be in the separate array, right? How will you merge both arrays and then will you print it? Iterate loop twice, once printing odd, then another for printing even. Okay, making two different lists for odd and even and then merge them. Okay. Anything else? Any ideas? I want everybody to answer. Print both the arrays, no need to merge. Okay, both the arrays will be printing it in the same line. Right? That is what you're trying to say, right? Two different separate arrays, but printing it in the same line. Okay. Anything else? Just think something without using the second list or a second array. Think in that dimension without using a second array or the second list. using a single array or a single list, I wanted this to be completed. How is it possible? Swapping. Good. Any other possibilities? Without using the second array, any other possibilities? Okay. Using the pivot element. Okay. Good. Any other possibilities? See, I'm just making you to think. Okay. Only if you think, if you take your time and think, what are the possible ways with these conditions and constraints, then you'll come out with the answers. Okay. I want everybody of you to think what can be done. I think around 20 people are here, but I get repeated answers. Even though your answer has somebody said your answer, no problem. I wanted to see your names in the chat box. Okay. So I'm going to take this program in Python language. Okay. I have C language also, but I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take in Python language, and that too just to give you a concept idea. Okay. To make you think logically, I'm going to teach that, and I want you to do the C coding. Okay. Tomorrow, I want everybody of you to do that program, and you have to tell me what was the output. Even if possible, I'll see your codings. Okay. So, as Deepak said, it is swapping. Swapping is a basic concept, right? I'll share my screen. Okay. So now, this is the Python program for the even or odd sorting program. Okay. I'm showing you for the concept only. I want everybody of you, even those who said I'm strong at Python, I wanted you to work on the C. Okay. Now, see, first we'll start from the driver code. I'm going to get the input size. Okay. I'm going to create a list. I'll just talk in general. Okay. No need to go for Python. I'll talk in general. I'm going to get a number of inputs. Okay. 5 to 6 inputs I'm going to get. And I have to store that in a list or an array in C. Okay. So I'm first asking for the size. How many inputs are you going to give? And I'm going to save that in size variable. And I'm giving a empty list. Okay. Now, every individual element given is stored in ELE, and I'm going to append that in that list. Okay. ARR list I'm going to append. In C language, you will be getting the input for an array using a for loop. Using scanf statement, you will be getting it. Okay. I'm going to get. Now, I'm going to find out the length of an ARR. If you want, you can include this, or you already have the size here. Okay. Both are the same. Now I'm just calling a function. Rearrange even and odd function, the name of the function and the parameters. ARR, the list, and the n. I'm going to send it to that particular function. immediately the control jumps to here. Okay, now I'm initializing j is equal to -1. Okay, I'm taking a for loop starting from 0 till the nth element. Okay, first element I'm going to check whether it is a even or odd. Okay, modulo 2 is equal to 0. In that sense, it is a even. Okay, according to the problem, which should come first, either even or odd? Which should be given first according to the problem? Even should come first and odd should follow that. Okay, so now if it is equal to 0, then it is a even, right? So wherever it is, let it be at the last element also, but I just wanted to push it to the first element. Okay, j equal to -1, I'm going to push that to first element of the array, that is 0. First index of an array is always 0. -1 plus 1, j is equal to 0. Here j becomes 0. Okay, so in the 0th position, I'm going to push that particular element which is even. Okay, so I'm not going to take it separately or print it separately, nothing. Within the same list, wherever the element is present, I'm just going to push it to the first. Okay, if it is even, if it is odd, it is just going to be in that particular place. It is just going to stay wherever it is going to stay. If it is even only, I'm going to push it in the front. Okay, if I'm keep on pushing the even elements to the front, then as automatically the odd elements comes at the back. Okay, it keeps moving on and it will come to the back. Now I'm just pushing it, and then what am I doing? ARR of I, the element which I used for this modulo operator, I'm going to store that in a temporary variable. Swapping takes place using the temporary variable. I'm going to keep that in temp, and this I is empty now. Now whatever is stored in J, I'm going to push that to I. Okay, ith position I'm going to push. Now jth position is empty. Now whatever is stored in the temporary variable, that is previous ARR of I, is now pushed to the ARR of J. Okay, so I and J are swapped. Now the temporary variable is as usual empty. Similarly, this takes place till the last element of the list or an array. Okay, after that we are just going to print the entire list or an array. Okay, as usual for printing, we are using the for loop from 0 to n, and I'm going to print the every element of an array. Why am I giving end is equal to a space? Because they have asked to print it with the space, right? You said me that it should be printed with the integer space. So I'm just giving a space in between. So between every integer, I'll be getting a space. Okay. So once again, I'll repeat. I'm going to get the size. I'm going to get every elements of the list. Okay. And I'm going to find out the size and have it in the end. Now I'm calling the function. As the function is called, the control jumps over here. From from 0 to n, I'm going to run a loop. What am I going to do? Just check every element, whether it is a even or odd. If it is even, I'm going to push it to the forward. Okay. And if it is odd, it is going to be in the same position itself. Okay. After that, I'm just going to swap the ARR of I and ARR of J. That is ith element and the jth element. And this I and J keeps on varying for the next loop. Okay. So every element, every even element comes first and every odd pushes at the back. Okay, so within the same list, everything is sorted. And as I said, the sequence should not change, right? Since this for loop is here, it will go in order only. First element, second element, third element, only that it will go. So whenever you're going to push, the first element goes to the first, second goes to the second. It will be in that sequential order only. So we don't need to do any separate functions for that. And after that, the entire list gets printed. Is the logic clear? Is the concept clear for everyone? Others? What about others? If you want, I can explain it again. Okay. Will you be able to write the same programming in C language? I have said you the concept. I just wanted to remake this program. If you want, you can take down this program and remake it into a C language program. You have to write, first think of the concept, then write the code, then go for the online compiler, run the code. If any error, clear the error, and then have the final code tomorrow in your hand. Okay? Whatever the programs which is discussed in today's session, I want you to go through that, and I want to complete this particular code, remaking of the code. And those who haven't completed yesterday's program, I want everybody to work on the code discussed in this session and also the previous session. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Okay, actually this is that C program. Just have a look, but you cannot copy anything from it. Just have a look for that, I'm showing. Okay, a lot of for loops and if conditions will be there. Okay, but if you want any reference, you can go for Google, but I want your own code. Okay, I can identify from the code which is copied from the Google and which is of your own code. Okay, not, I hope none of you both, okay, think same way. So every code should be different. Okay, any doubts in today's session? Anything you want me to explain again, or you want any slides to be shown again? Any doubts?